Stewardship, giving of your time and talents, your first fruits, your tithe. I remember as a child saving up for an American Girl doll. I had a sticker puzzle where I would buy each piece from my parents, representing the money saved thus far and getting me closer to my goal. I don't remember how much I saved for each piece, but I do recall that every time I earned $1, 10 cents went into my offering pile to be taken to church on Sunday. Even then, in 5th grade, my parents were laying that groundwork that would guide me in the future. It took a long time to save for that doll, but with each dollar saved, it was a reminder of what God had given me. It wasn't always so simple. That paycheck of my first real job at Donato's Pizza made me more than a couple dollars at a time, and seeing it on paper how significant that 10% was, it was tempting to give less. But whenever I questioned the necessity of tithing, my mother reminded me of how, even when they were first married, money was tight, things always seemed to work out when they gave to church first. There have been times in my life when I've given cheerfully. There have been times when I've been hesitant. There have been times when I've simply let it slip. I was nervous before marriage about whether or not my future spouse would be on board. Thankfully he was, and we continue to encourage each other. Nobody likes to talk about money, at least not their own. Having moved a lot growing up, I saw my parents give consistently, regardless of their earthly circumstances. It wasn't based on what the particular congregation needed. Their tithe was placed into the hands of the church, but it was working for the Lord. I remember sitting in church as a teenager, and the sermon was on sacrificial giving. And there I was, feeling all secretly proud that 10% of my golf course paycheck was ready to drop in the offering plate, and I was being told it wasn't enough. I remember being angry at first. I asked my dad later if what the pastor was telling us was really true. I remember him nodding his head and telling me, yep, if I could comfortably give my tithe, I should be willing to give more until I felt it. Could I give up my Friday Starbucks to further his kingdom? What could I sacrifice to bring my focus back on Christ? These are the lessons I carried into my adulthood. My parents were then and are now some of the most influential people in my life regarding stewardship. Now I realize that most of my story is from my youth, but I believe that's what set me up to where I am today. We strive to meet our tithe as a family, and having taken the time to consider all this, I realize I should be doing more to educate my children, as my parents did for me. As the paychecks get bigger, family expenses seem to grow as well. What keeps us aimed at tithing is that we focus on giving to Christ first. We consider it His. We give back a small part of the blessings He has continued to bestow on us. Mindset is so powerful, knowing that the Lord will work through the church to make sure that our gifts help bring more people to know Christ.